a bit of mold, okay?
This is getting really bad.
You're looking at live pictures out of Paramount, California, where protesters have been clashing with police all day outside a Home Depot. It is still unconfirmed whether immigration officials were conducting an ICE raid, but several ICE vehicles have sustained damages, and multiple protesters have now been arrested for an assault on a federal agent.
That's a good start. Yeah, that's a great
Incident
start.
Follows a night of riots in Los Angeles following multiple ICE raids in the city. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Concha, along with Lydia Hu, Alicia Acuna, and Guy Benson. The big story tonight. Tear gas
let's see it.
has filled.
Sorry, just to wrap up these chatters. It's not an apt comparison. They can return to the country they came for. You're putting your head in the sand and pretending like what's happening isn't happening. There are people from countries other than El Salvador being sent to an El Salvador labor camp. This is factually true. We literally pulled up an article moments ago showing a Venezuelan who was here legally got deported to the El Salvador labor camp. Like, I don't know what delusions you have that you think that what Fox News tells you or what Asmongold tells you, I don't really give a fuck who's telling it to you, or if you believe it just because you want to believe it. But like, you are just wrong. You are just wrong. You're just incorrect. When you cheer this on, when you're like, yeah, deport them, and you don't think about the consequences at all, you are part of the problem. You are part of what is getting, or of the reason why these people who are from Venezuela, from Mexico, from places that are not El Salvador, you are part of the reason why they are getting sent to El Salvador. Oh my God. God damn it. What is this article? Let me open the paywall. I just don't get how you can see so many things that prove your opinions wrong, that you can see that people are being deported and they're being sent to some El Salvador mega complex and they're not from El Salvador, and then be like, well, that's an exception, or that's not happening, or no, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. People who haven't even committed any crimes and who are here legally. Like, I don't know how to save you. Like, I don't know what to tell you at some point. At some point, it's just like you're believing what you want to believe. Let me see, what is this article you linked? U.S. put Asian migrants on deportation flight to South Sudan. Immigration lawyers told a federal judge on Tuesday that they received information indicating that the U.S. government may have put migrants from countries like Myanmar and Vietnam on a deportation flight to South Sudan, an Eastern African nation plagued by conflict and political instability. In an emergency filing to the federal district court in Massachusetts, the attorneys said that the reported deportation flight to South Sudan would directly violate a ruling issued by U.S. District Court Judge Brian Murphy that barred the Trump administration from deporting migrants to third countries without affording them certain due process rights. And you still just like believe that these people are just going back home? So you're against borders. This is a completely different conversation. Whether I'm against or for borders doesn't matter. What I am for is not just grabbing people off the street and deporting them to wherever we feel like deporting them. Like, this is such a nonsensical argument. It's like, it's so common sense that you shouldn't think people should be grabbed off the street, thrown in a van, and then sent to a prison. It's like, it is the most common sense opinion to have. Oh, you committed a crime, you're here illegally, whatever. Okay, well, we have due process for a reason. We'll arrest, detain you in a U.S. jail, make sure that you did in fact commit these crimes, make sure that this is in fact you, see where you're from, and then deport you back to where you're from. Like, it's such a basic common sense opinion and idea to have, and you are like refusing to engage with the fact that this government is doing things that are unbelievably illegal. Can you imagine if you were grabbed off the street? Maybe you're a little tan. I don't know. Maybe you're not. I don't know. Maybe let's just pretend like you're a little tan. And they grab you off the street because they think you're somebody else or because you have tattoos. And then they just send you to South Sudan. And you're like, no, dude, I'm a citizen. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't have due process for gang members. We can tell from your tattoos. Then what do? What's your next course of action? People aren't asking for something unreasonable. We're asking for due process. That's all we're asking for. We're asking for basic due process to make sure that the people we're grabbing are actually here illegally and have actually committed crimes. That's it. That's all we're asking for. Is that so absurd? Is that so extreme to just give people basic rights? Also, you gotta love the chatter who was here who insulted my comparison and then said, get some history lessons. About what? The arrests that Nazis did against Germans who tried to harbor Jews? What the fuck are you talking about? But it's okay. You have to make some vague statements and then put a little lull emote. I get it. Thinking is hard. It's okay. Just keep saying platitudes that don't mean anything. You're so dumb. Lol. I know that's the hardest that your brain can work.
Filled the air as protesters clashed with police last night in Los Angeles. At least 45 people were arrested last night.
That's way too little. Like, there's got to be hundreds of them doing crazy shit like this. Like, you only arrest 45 people. What the fuck is going on?
DHS says that more than 118 illegals were apprehended this week. The protester tried to storm into an ICE facility last night after being fired upon by radical speakers at a rally. Listen.
Free them all! Free them all! Free them all! Because an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us!
I love how they're just like openly promoting like racial, like basically like racial identity politics. It's like, well, you know, because some people are illegal here. And and who knows whether they even came from the same country. It's so retarded.
Los Angeles does not.
What the fuck are you talking about? They're obviously talking about due process, you shit for brains. If you take due process away for some people, nobody has due process. That's how due process works.
Back down for that kind of fight.
Yeah.
Everyone, regardless of your status here, whether you're a citizen, whether you have a visa, whether you have a green card, whether you're an immigrant, whether you're documented, whether you're undocumented, whether you're a tourist, you should want due process, because not having due process for some people means you don't have due process when the government decides you're a criminal. Would I have my passport? We don't know if that's fake. Seize it. That's a fake passport. Seize it. And then what do? Shove your thumb up your ass? Like, this is the most common sense policy to have. Just some basic due process. It is so fucking common sense. And these people see this and they're like, this must be DEI wokeism. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Fighting until we reconstruct every single institution from the ground up so that we can grant full amnesty for all immigrants. Demand full compensation for all of the victims of this criminal injustice system.
What's going to change this is organizing, and not just any type of organizing, militant organizing.
I mean, if you're...
And yeah, Chainfire, totally correct. Racist-led deportation program instituted, cries about protesters making it racial. I can't even. It's not racist. We just happen to only want to deport the brown people, and we don't really care about deporting the not brown people. Okay, but it's totally not. It just so happens that, like, if the Polish people want to immigrate here, or like Ukrainians want to immigrate here, or like I don't know, French people want to, it's fine and we don't really care. But if you are brown, we just don't want you. But it's not racist, we swear. We just don't like immigrants, except for the immigrants that we don't really care about. But it's not racist. We promise.
You're gonna make...
Yeah, we're gonna have like an entire program for white South Africans to immigrate here. But we just don't want any illegal immigrants. Deports a bunch of legal immigrants. Deports a bunch of brown people who are here legally.
An accusation and like call for people to like militantly organize, and then they do. I feel like at a certain point you've got to be accountable for that, right? Like, this is like inciting a riot or some sort of like, I mean, there's got to be some
literally just a guy talking at a podium. This is inciting a riot.
Level of accountability here, doesn't there? I mean, come on. Yeah, chill out with the violence. Yeah, everybody's okay with you protesting. I mean, not everybody, but I mean, most normal people are okay with you protesting. But like, if you're going and talking about like a violent protest, like, this is crazy.
Mayor Karen Bass is still standing with the protesters, saying she's fighting for all Angelenos,
which is insane. You're standing with the protesters. What about the people that are getting their stores destroyed? And this is the problem that I see with this. I'm going to be skipping around because I've seen some
stores in the room with us
videos here. Like, this is absolutely not, I mean, these are not protesters. These are rioters. They're burning a car in the middle of an intersection. Like, I mean, this is crazy. And if you look at this here, there's even more of them too. Let me see if I can find it. And where does it go? And oh, here's another one.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works, and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
You've got it. I mean, at a certain point, until these people get pulled out and get in trouble with this, it's just gonna keep happening. It is. It's gonna keep happening until people get held accountable. These are the people that they're standing behind. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. I mean, this is just people popping all kinds of shit off. Like, look at this. Burning shit down.
A guy grabbing a door. Okay.
Oh, here's another one right here. Yeah, this is LA. Here we go. They're setting shit on fire. Like, what is it? Like, a mostly peaceful fire?
I like how you have no way of knowing whether or not this fire was caused by the the tens, hundreds of flashbangs that were thrown or anything else that was thrown by the cops. This was actually the fire that was started by the cops.
How does this happen? Yeah, I'm sure this is good for everybody, right? Definitely great. Yeah, and so you have mostly peaceful fires being started. Apparently the wildfires weren't enough for them, and they started doing even more of these. Obviously, of course, burning American flags. This goes without saying. Yep. That's great. Yeah, for sure. And again, I don't care if somebody wants to burn the American
in the worst way possible.
Sorry, I just read what the TTS message said.
flag. Do whatever the hell you want, but you can't.
Not an American flag getting burned. Do these people ever get tired of like the pearl clutching?
Do it in the middle of the fucking street. What is this? Deport them? No, the problem is that you need to get arrested for starting a fucking fire in the middle of the goddamn street. It's insane. And so anyway, you've got this stuff going on, and oh, this is another one. This is so fucking funny. Here we go. The ICE wanted them to get arrested. Well, actually, let me go back. We'll watch the rest of this. I just wanted you to see that whenever she's talking about defending these protesters, these are people that are breaking into businesses. They are destroying property. They are lighting random cars on fire. They are.
Imagine thinking Karen Bass, of all people, would be defending rioters, and then proceeding to make up a bunch of lies.
Are stealing things. They're vandalizing the entire place. They're throwing bricks at police officers, throwing bricks at random cars. This is in no way, shape, or form is this peaceful at all. It's crazy. No, you don't understand the historical context. Yeah, for sure, man. The historical context of throwing a brick at somebody.
Regardless, of immigration status, and doubling down that LA is a city of migrants, leaving out the illegal part. But the people.
Yeah, and this is the problem is like, I don't think these people realize what I think they're going to do is they're going to create a form of xenophobia that's going to push against all migrants and all immigrants in general.
That already existed before the protests. Newsflash. We already had that before the protests. We were already mass deporting these people, and your entire audience was saying, good, deport more of them. That was happening long before these protests happened. That's why they're protesting. They're protesting the xenophobia that exists right now.
Because their refusal to create a distinction between legal and illegal immigrants, I think that people will play into that, and they will just want all of the immigrants removed in general, right? And that's what I've already seen happening, right? And you saw this in like, a micro version of this with the H-1B visa thing. And so the problem is that they're actually putting a lot of these immigrants that are legal immigrants in the country, they're putting them at risk, and they're putting their status at risk by intentionally conflating them with actual criminals that came over illegally.
We're just ignore all the people being deported that are here legally. Just ignore it. It's not good for your narrative.
It's insane.
As Karen Bass are threatening ICE agents, spray painting death to ICE on dumpsters. Gavin Newsom also weighing in on the riots and blamed them on, get this, President Trump.
Icarus, thank you for the 5 minutes.
Finally, my weekly dose of mold.
No.
Accusing him of tearing families apart.
And this is on Friday. So, I mean, this is to be aired 2 days ago, right? Donald Trump's chaos is eroding trust, tearing families apart, and undermining the workers and industries that power America's economy. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know really what is. This is Donald Trump's fault that you have a bunch of illegals in your state that are lighting things on fire. Donald Trump made them light things on fire. Like, I don't think so. What a ridiculous thing to say.
And this chaos has now spread to New York City today alone as protesters organized in Lower Manhattan.
I cannot wait till they bring in the National Guard and put these people in jail. This is such fucking savage third world behavior. I don't know why Americans are expected to tolerate this for even an hour. Like, I think immediately they did. I know, but like, it should have happened immediately.
Joining us to break down everything in terms of these protests.
Third world behavior. Okay. Third world country behavior.
is border czar Tom
Yeah,
Homan.
we're gonna go.
Tom, how is
This is him
ICE
talking about it.
responding to these protests? And thanks for joining us tonight.
Look, we're going to continue doing our job. And yesterday we got 118 arrests. You know, I was out here yesterday to kick off this operation.
Yeah.
And what people aren't talking about is ICE served, you know, several warrants yesterday. These were criminal warrants. This is a criminal investigation.
Yeah, these people don't care about that. They don't care about the well-being of anybody. They just care about pushing their ideas and feeling good about doing it.
Today, we're continuing operations. They're not going to shut us down.
Yep.
We're out there right now doing operations. We're going to keep doing operations. We brought in more resources to push back the protesters, but I'll say it again, a serious warning. You can protest all you want. You got your First Amendment rights.
Sure.
But if you cross that line of impediment, or you're putting hands on officers, or destroy property, you will be prosecuted. There's zero
See,
tolerance.
like, that's
You were literally tear gassing people who hadn't even done anything yet.
the obvious. Like, I mean, I don't know how anybody could disagree with this. I mean, like, if you're touching officers, if you're destroying property, like, yeah, you can protest. That's fine. But, like, what is this?
Sorry, but this chatter thinking this is like some epic own yet. Yes, cars were eventually lit on fire. I'm sorry, you want to live in a society where we arrest people for protesting because they might eventually do something else? Well, I think you might be a rapist in like a week, so we should arrest you now. What are you, stupid?
On crossing that lines, and that's what we're standing by.
That's
we're bringing more
common sense.
resources as we speak. We'll have more resources tonight. We're going to continue doing the job that American people voted Donald Trump in office to do, and we're not going to apologize for doing it.
Tom, it's
The
Alicia.
reason why American protests evolve like this and other countries don't, the reason why is because they're allowed to. Other countries are, in general, like a lot more authoritarian with things. And so because of that,
It's ironic that the left is on point with hating Israel, but somehow supports all of their movements meant to undermine our country. That's not irony, just for starters. Let me just go from there. Second, I don't know how to explain this to you. If you remove due process for some people, you're removing due process for everyone. That is bad for the safety of everyone in this country. You moron. You should be against this type of deportation, the deportations that we have seen in the past 6 months, at least the past 3 months, if you care about the safety of American citizens that are here, that were born here. It undermines our country to allow deportations by just grabbing anyone you want off the street and then shipping them to El Salvador. That's undermining our country. So throwing rocks isn't doing everything. All I can tell you is that as someone who was there the moment that they started tear gassing people, no one was throwing any rocks.
and I'm not saying like just, I think this is a general reality in like most countries, but I think that's one reason. But I think also, not France. Yeah, I mean, France is not like that either. So yeah, maybe that's actually not true anymore. But I do think that, again, like I made a tweet and I said, if you want to tell whether a protest is in America or not, if you've got a bunch of random retards flying around flags from a bunch of different countries and different identity groups, it's in America. If you have people all flying the same flag, it's in that country.
Not only is this not true, but it's also the dumbest thing I've ever seen. We've immediately forgotten about the melting pot that is America, that this is a country founded on immigrants, on immigration. We're just going to ignore the history of America because we don't like these brown people. That's it? All right, cool, sure.
Acuna, again,
That's the
thank you so
difference.
much for being here. During the protest yesterday,
Inscription on the Statue of Liberty. Well, the problem is that they can't read, so they don't know that what those words say. They don't understand what that means. There are a lot of words and letters, and it's really hard, okay?
a Los Angeles City Council member called for mobilization against ICE. Listen.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They know how quickly we mobilize. That's why they're changing tactics. Because community defense works and our resistance has slowed them down before. And if they're escalating their tactics, then so are we. When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
So, Tom, will the Trump administration take action against these public officials
Yeah,
who are
that's the
threatening
thing.
ICE agents with resistance?
Absolutely. And I think Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice is looking at that. And
They've been looking at a lot of things. They were looking at the
Marble
Epstein
ass
files
fuck.
too, and where are they? Like, I don't want to hear looking at it. I want to see it happening. Like, I'll believe this when I see it.
you know, like I said many times, these elected officials or these non-government organizations, they can't cross the line either. I mean, we got people like, Hakeem Jeffries saying he's going to dox ICE employees. You know, ICE agents out there with masks on. They're wearing masks to protect themselves and their families because they've been doxxed, their families been doxxed, their life's been threatened, their families have been threatened. I know my...
Chatter, what are you talking about? I don't understand why both sides can't accept bits of truth. It's all gas, no brakes. People are more worried about being right and winning than anything else. This is a fundamental misrepresentation in an attempt to hold on to an ideology that you hold near and dear to your heart. You have a strong preference to a centrist ideology, and you are doing exactly what you're accusing other people of doing. You have a strong desire to be right, and you attempt to do that by pretending like both sides are bad, unlike you, who's obviously always correct. The reality is one side is upset about cars burning, and the other side is upset that people are being deported to countries they're not from, even though they're here legally and haven't committed any crimes. One of these is you are justified in being upset about. The other one, you are not. And if you attempt to weigh these equally, you've automatically proven that you don't actually care about what is correct or what is incorrect. You care more about your moral superiority over other people. Chatter says, there's nothing wrong with wanting to report criminals and rapists. You defending illegals from being deported is why the left wing is losing so much support. Trump's approval rating is like in the gutter, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But more importantly, this is not what's happening. You're misrepresenting the position because you don't want to engage in good faith with anyone who criticizes you. If you were actually ever attempting to engage in good faith, you would understand that the left's problem with what is currently happening is that there have been numerous instances of people who are here legally, who have not committed any crimes and are being deported to countries they're not from. You want to deport rapists? No one is here disagreeing with you. No one. No one here cares about that. Please. By all means. What we care about is the number of people being deported who are not illegal, who have not committed any crimes, and who are being sent to El Salvador prison camps instead of the country that they're even from. Trump's approval rating is increasing. Spreading misinfo. Try protesting without burning and looting. Wait, that's not possible for America. So, like, did you think that the Boston Tea Party was wrong? You think when we dumped all that tea that was wrong and we should have just asked the king, like, please don't raise any taxes on us, please. You think that was bad? Being on asylum is not being here legally. It is by definition being here legally. It is by definition being here legally. You are incorrect if you think it is illegal. You are just incorrect. That's different than a group of blacks raiding an Apple store. Oh, and there we have it. All right. Excellent. Good. Good. See, if you could stop being racist for 2 seconds, you would understand that we're not comparing blacks raiding an Apple store with the Boston Tea Party. We're comparing the Boston Tea Party with people lighting a Waymo on fire because they're upset about people like this being sent to El Salvador. People who followed legal procedure, who were here legally, this gay Venezuelan hairdresser who was here. It's literally a Fox News article that says he followed legal procedures and then was deported to a country he's not from. You are entering levels of cope never before seen if you think that this is okay to do in our country. They are literally a drain on resources. He literally has a job. What are you talking? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking. It literally says his job in the title. It's right there. Hairdresser. What are you hallucinating? Oh my God. You know who's a drain on resources? You're dumbass, okay? Fuck, dude.
When you set cars on fire, you 100% lose my vote and support, especially when you try to downplay it or keep protesting there while you're asked to move. It's nonsensical. I'm 100% against wrongful deportations and pro-illegal immigration, which should be easier.
Okay, get the fuck out then. All right, you can just leave, lib. All right, loser.
You lost my vote.
You think we have a candidate that we want to vote for? We don't like any of these candidates either. All the candidates are saying the same thing that you're saying, you fucking shit for brains. Every single candidate has the same position you have.
I don't destroy property. It's really what someone think of the Waymos.
Oh my God, Christ. Lose my vote. Fucking Christ, dude. Some people. Also gotta point out that he's gay. It was the article that pointed it out. It was the Fox News article that pointed it out. Are you blind, Chatter? Are you just blind? Can you not read? I don't understand. What is happening? Makeup artist Do you think people don't pay good money to get their makeup done? I mean, you've probably never spoken to a woman before, so I'm not surprised. Honestly, that makes sense. What's your job? Being an annoying fuck all day and night? If I do have to get makeup done, I sure as hell wouldn't hire an illegal. Bitch, you don't wash your ass. You don't wipe your ass, okay? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about getting your makeup done. I know the exact person that you are. And I know every single fucking pair of boxers you have is a fucking shit stain straight down the middle. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If I have to do my makeup, come on, dude. We all can smell you through the screen. Please. Such a condescending bitch. This is why I'll never vote Democrat. You describe black people as blacks raiding an Apple store. You were never voting Democrat. I don't know why you're lying. Like, I don't know who you think you're lying to. Quick, pivot. Lie some more, pivot. Just call me a whore. Come on. Just do it. Oh my God. The Democrats hurt my feelings. Oh, the Democrats are so mean to me. That's what you base your politics on? Who's mean or nice to you?
Well, the Nazis were so nice to me, so maybe I have to.
What are you, stupid? Like, I just don't understand this level of stupidity. You're so soy, dude. You are the soyest fucker on the planet. You are the embodiment of the soy right. Oh, fuck, dude. Jesus. Oh, peak snowflake, dude. Fucking peak snowflake. Oh my God. Look at this. Like, okay, last thing. Throwing insults because you can't defend your position with facts. Nice. I literally did. I showed it to you, and then you insisted on pretending like it didn't exist. I literally showed it to you. It's still on the screen. It's still on the screen. It's not my fault. You're just denying its existence. You're like, well, that can't hurt me. I can't read. What are you, stupid? Okay, sorry. I'm done. I'm done calling him stupid. I'm done. Oh, fuck. Jesus. I insulted you because you can't fucking deal with actual facts. You cannot deal with proof that you're wrong. So what do? You start talking about blacks and condescending bitch and Democrats. Like, you cannot engage in good faith. Why would I engage in good faith back to you? At a certain point, you run out of goodwill, man. I pay taxes. I don't want those taxes being spent on freeloading illegals and asylum seekers. See, this is the problem. Facts have a left-leaning bias. And if you actually looked into any of this, which I know reading is hard and researching anything is hard, you just need somebody else to tell it to you. But if you actually looked into this, you would find that the majority of immigrants, because they don't have a social security number, they can't actually get payouts from the government. So all they do is pay in way more than they'll ever receive from the government ever. Because they don't have a social security number. There are no facts that agree with you on this. They pay in way more than they get back from the state. You're the freeloader that gets to benefit off their labor. They get paid below minimum wage to do labor that real Americans don't want to do. Real Americans don't want to fucking pick radishes in 100-degree weather in the sun, okay? They pay into our Social Security. They pay into our Medicare, our Medicaid. They pay into all of these systems. They get paid garbage for the labor that they do, okay? And they get basically nothing back. And the rest of us get to benefit from cheap labor, better lined groceries, better construction, or like more available construction, and their money that they paid in from the labor that they did. So you insist on them staying because they get paid slave labor? You're fried. You're fried. You're totally fried. You're actually cooked. If that was your only takeaway,
the mullet rolls are gone.
They're gone, people. Contraband, they hear the tiny gives up. Oh God. And yeah, this chatter, you're spitting. First time chat message, fucking great chat message. Your best option is to deport them and worsen their lives rather than try and fix the system and help those immigrants. Such a stupid take. Stupid, idiotic, moronic. Oh my God. And then like the truth comes out. Once white citizens get deported, then I'll start caring. I'm sorry that you've never been able to care about someone that was outside of your immediate circle. And I hope one day, genuinely, I'm not being sarcastic. I know I just spent this whole time ripping on this person. I'm sorry that you lack the ability to empathize with people outside of your immediate circle. It's sad, and your life is worse off for it. And I hope one day you are capable of feeling for people who are not white or people who are not your immediate family or friends. And I hope one day you can learn what that feeling feels like and realize that that's a worse society. Your worldview, it's a worse way to live. And it's a sadder and more pathetic way to live. And I hope one day you can figure that out. All right. All right. I'll send him off. Everyone salute. We're sending him off. Countryman, thank you for the 20 gift subs. The marbles were gone. Oh, I just remembered we were on our mold segment.
Well, then why aren't the doxers in jail? Why haven't you figured this out? Like, if you're intentionally trying to put a federal agent and a federal officer of the law's life in danger, why haven't you put them in jail? Like, that's terrorism. That's the problem. If this guy is going out saying that, then like, where's the accountability here? Because this is the problem that I think they have, is that it's very obvious that this is a bad thing to have happen. But the issue is that the people that do it don't face any consequences. So
people literally got arrested.
Or people just keep doing it. These riots would have never happened if they had called in the National Guard the moment, and the police the moment that they started. But
that's literally, okay, sorry. Some levels of like dishonesty get to me in a way, make me lose it a little bit, make me lose my mind. They make me lose my marbles a little bit. The National Guard was there the moment the protests started. They were going to start at 2. The National Guard was literally there immediately. People were protesting, and then the National Guard started throwing tear gas at peaceful protesters, excuse me. That's quite literally how those events played out. Look, Denims, I found the marbles.
They didn't do that, and they let it escalate to this now. And the ultimate consequence of this is that everybody is paying like, this is all your tax money. Like, if you're an American, your tax money is getting pissed away at this bullshit because they.
Sorry, this chatter he really wants me to respond to this. So if a person is in the U.S. illegally, you agree they should be sent back? Denims. I already showed the proof that non-criminal illegals have been sent to El Salvador. If you commit a violent crime and you are an immigrant, yeah, I support deporting these people with due process, of course. But like, that's the position that everybody has here. Like, what? It's not like it's not a crazy concept unless you are actively trying to be as dishonest as possible. Yeah, obviously what we say is deporting them back to the country they're from, not sending them to an El Salvador prison fucking labor camp. But like, due process, you're sure that this is the person who committed that crime, that violent act. Okay, great. That's it. It's just like, you can only think this if you think the other side is so absurd. There's no way they could have a reasonable position ever. Which at that point, it's like, you've like lost the plot, I think. I think you've really lost the plot.
They couldn't stop it from escalating. And the way you stop it from escalating is immediately identifying the problem and solving it. But they're afraid to do that, or they refuse to do that. And then it escalates, and now everybody's spending more money and time. It's very frustrating to see.
I've had over 1,000 protesters at my house. I expect that as the borders
This
are.
is what the majority of California wants. Let them be. That's fine. But then I don't want my taxes going to them. And I think that we should treat them as a foreign nation. Like, if you want to go down that route, that's fine. But like, then okay, let's go down that route. The fact is that California, like, I mean, it's a state.
Just another incorrect statement. There's like a million different fun diagrams and charts about this. Red states take in way more federal funding than they end up paying in taxes, and blue states overwhelmingly pay in more to the federal government than they get back. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how else to explain this more clearly. It's just true. Like, California is not the state that's leeching tax dollars. It's the Alabamas of this state. Or sorry, of this country. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, like states that have very little business in them, states that have very, very high rates of poverty, states with very, very poor infrastructure, states that are frequently hit by natural disasters. Those are the countries that end up getting so much funding. Red states overwhelmingly leech off of blue states. It's just like, all of this is very easy to look up. Like, none of it is controversial.
It's not its own country.
California is the fourth largest economy in the world, and he thinks it takes up other states' funding. Is this it? 19 states sent more to the federal government than they received in 2023. And then we have, okay, so here are the states that here are the states that received funding. So from the state to the federal, from federal to states. So Virginia, Alabama, Arizona, South Carolina, Mississippi, New Mexico, Louisiana, Kentucky, Michigan, West Virginia, Oregon, Oklahoma, D.C., Maine, Alaska, Hawaii, North Carolina, Montana, Iowa, Idaho, Indiana, Vermont, Wisconsin, Nevada, Kansas, Arkansas, South Dakota, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, North Dakota, and Wyoming. These are all states that received more money than they ended up paying into the federal government. And then here are the states that have paid more than they received in ascending order. Rhode Island, Tennessee, Connecticut, Utah, Nebraska, Delaware, Colorado, Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio, Minnesota, Massachusetts, Washington, Texas. Texas is a very rare exception because they have so much business in the state. New Jersey, California, and New York. New York being the state that has paid, they pay the most for what they receive. Like the disparity is the largest. Okay, so you're wrong. How did you get that from this? Genuinely, how did you get that from this? Do you not know how to read a diagram? Pink is from states to federal. That's the money from the state, Virginia, to the U.S. government. Blue is from the federal government to the state. Virginia paid out, let's see, what does this say? Like about $100 billion, and they received about $200 billion, which means that they had a, not a deficit, I guess like a profit of $80 billion from the federal government. These are the states that are the other way around, the states that paid more. So New York ended up paying the federal government $90 billion. California paid the federal government $80 billion. Surplus, thank you. Not profit, surplus. New Jersey paid the federal government $70 billion. I wonder why Virginia is so high. I think the reason why Virginia is so high is because they probably receive a lot of money from FEMA. Hurricanes tend to really hit Virginia really, really hard. I know, because every time there was a hurricane warning in New York, Virginia would just take the fucking brunt of it. And then by the time it arrived at us, it was down to like a Cat 2 or a tropical storm or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if a big part of it was that. And you're wrong. Many of them are blue. I never thought I would run into like an anecdote Andy. Well, some of these are blue. Did you notice how most of the ones that paid more were blue? Oh my God, this poor guy. Oh my God. Just face tanking the dumbest ones out here. Dude, look at these people. You proved yourself wrong. Common liberal here. Do you not know what states are red and blue? Most of those are red states. You just proved yourself wrong. Stupid liberal. You don't want to go down this list, man. You don't want to go down this list. Do you want to? Here, let's look it up. 2024 election results. We can look at the diagram together. We can look at I know shapes and colors are hard, so we can just like look at the pictures together. Okay? Okay, here's the diagram. This is which state went red, which state went blue. All right? Okay. See that? All right. So let's see. New York. I'll count the red ones. How many of these? 5. Oh, wait. It already said it. 19. Sorry. Okay. New York, obviously blue. California, obviously blue. New Jersey, blue. Texas is red. Wait, I should count the red ones. Sorry. Okay, so Texas is red. Washington, blue. Massachusetts went blue. Minnesota went, let's see. I would want to be 100% sure. I want to be 100% sure. Because I'm pretty sure on most of these, but just in case, we can double check just to be 100%. Minnesota, oh wait, why can't I find this? Why can't I find an easy chart of this? I see. Oh my God, I hate CNN. Sorry, chat. One sec. Minnesota's always blue. Yeah, I just want, the thing is these people respond only to shapes and colors. So I have to find a diagram that will show them that it's only shapes and, that the shapes and colors agree. Okay. Oh, Denims? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this. All right. So far, all we have is Texas. We were at Minnesota. Blue. Okay. I'll put this on the other screen. Ohio. Red. Illinois. Blue. So that's one more red. Missouri. Red. Florida. Red. Florida's an interesting case because Disney brings in so much fucking money. So they always will be. And even though that's the case, it's only $17 billion. Probably because they also need a lot of FEMA aid for the hurricanes that they get. But anyways. Georgia, red. Okay, Colorado, blue. Delaware, blue. Nebraska was red. Utah was red. Connecticut, blue. Tennessee, red. Rhode Island, blue. Can you do math, chatter? Can you do math and see that 8 divided by 19 is less than half? And that in a lot of the instances, these red states, Tennessee, Utah, Nebraska, Delaware were all basically 5, 4, 7, 8. And that these blue states were the ones paying tens of billions? Is this just too hard for you? Like combined, let's see, New York, 90 billion. Let's see these red states: Tennessee, Utah, Nebraska. No, Delaware went blue. Colorado went blue. Georgia, Florida, Missouri. Let's add them up. Let's add them up. This will be really easy. Other than Texas, because again, Texas is an interesting case because they have a zero income tax. A lot of businesses have moved there, which you can just wipe out Texas with New Jersey. But if you look at these, 4, 9, no, wait, sorry, 13, 11, 19, 29, 33, 43, 47, 57, 64, 84, 88. If you add up the next, how many is this? How many was this? 7? You finally reach how much money New York was paying in. Like, it's just, you can see the picture. I just don't understand, guys. Maybe numbers are fake. Maybe numbers are fake. Maybe the numbers are just fake. It took, 7 states to reach 1 state of funding? All right, man. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
We fought a whole civil war over this. Like, do we really have to go back to 1965 to refigure the same things out again? I don't think that we need to.
But these men and women are putting their lives online every day. They arrested a lot of bad people yesterday and today. They arrested.
Well, your taxes don't go to California; theirs go to you. What happens when California gets attacked? What happens if China attacks California? What happens if Russia attacks California? What happens if Japan attacks California? Well, I'll tell you what happens. The federal government and the federal military ensures that California is safe.
It's not ensuring that California is safe. At that point, it's a war between 2 countries. I like the universe that, like, Florida starts getting attacked by Cuba. Would never happen. And the federal government's like, well, we don't need to worry about that. And we don't need to worry about that.
It's the way it works. And so you're saying the federal taxes don't go to, like, California. It absolutely does. They enjoy a complete privilege and absolute certainty of protection because of their existence inside of the United States and because of their protection under the United States military. That's the reality.
I'm in awe at this chat. $80 billion in debt because of them cut off all funding to California. California pays $80 billion to the federal government. California is at a deficit to the federal government. Oh my God, dude.
Offenders. They arrested people who convicted of robbery. They arrested public safety, not only significant public safety threats, but national security threats. They arrested gang members. We're making Los Angeles safer. And Mayor...
Somebody says a lot of people in California don't support this. I know. I know, like, listen, like most places, it's not like 100%, 0% one side.
Yeah, these past few months have completely destroyed my faith in free speech as a foundational principle. I'm ashamed to say the same.
I get that there's a lot of Californians that think this is fucking ridiculous too, and I get it. It sucks, and I think that everybody can commiserate with you. Yeah, it sucks that your government is like this.
Mayor Bass ought to be thanking us for making her city safer. Yeah. And the term migrant, as Joe Concha rightfully said earlier, they're illegal aliens. There are illegal aliens in this country, and we welcome. We're the most giving country in the world. But these are illegal aliens who committed a crime by crossing this border illegally, then yet committed another crime. Again, yesterday's about a criminal investigation into money laundering, tax evasion, and some of the funds going to cartels in Mexico and Colombia that fund their operations of sending narcotics to this country, killing American people. This is about enforcing the law, and again, we're not going to apologize for doing it. We're stepping up. She says they're going to mobilize. Well, guess what? We're already ahead of the game. We're already mobilizing. We're going to bring National Guard in tonight. We're going to continue doing our job. We're going to push back on these people, and we're going to force the law.
Tom, it's
what a sad, like, world to have. Like, what a sad world to be, like, living in. That your solution to every problem is just, like, deport more brown people.
Fucking God, bro. I've been waiting on this forever. This is what they should have done back in 2020.
And I want to ask you a little bit more about these Democrat demands that ICE agents be unmasked. Some Democrats are saying that if they don't unmask, they're threatening to dox them. Listen to this.
I don't know of any police department that routinely wears masks. We know that there are other groups that routinely wear masks. NSC 131 routinely wears masks.
Sending masked men to snatch, kidnap, and disappear immigrants of all legal...
To disappear them. I love the language there. It's always...
What would you call grabbing someone off the street, sending them to an El Salvador prison, and then saying we can't bring them back?
The emotional escalation of the language.
Statuses across the country.
Every single one of them.
Isn't there a study that shows that most drugs are not coming, coming into the U.S. are not coming from Mexico/illegals? Correct. They're coming from legal entry, from like legal ports.
No matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
Tom, I wonder if you can speak to that a little bit. Explain to us more, help everyone understand the threat that our ICE agents are facing by just doing their job, why they need to wear these masks.
Well, this is the way they operate. They operate under fear and terrorism. Because the reason why so you have to think about the second order effect of this. The second order effect of this is that ICE agents are identified and then they face consequences because people attack their house, attack their family, attack their kids, or do something like that.
Yes, the Home Depot immigrants, the immigrants that sit by the Home Depot, they're attacking everybody. I like how you just like leave your house once to know that this isn't true. Just like leave your house once.
To them. So really what they're advocating for is outsourcing terrorism to the most extreme group that they are a part of. Right? Like that's basically what's happening. Like there's no other reason to know what their names are. It's straight up
to hold them accountable?
Terrorism, it is. And I think that really, I mean, in my opinion, if these people are releasing the names of the ICE agents, I think try them for terrorism. I think do it. Like, and especially if they're public officials. Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired of public officials doing things that they shouldn't be allowed to do and getting away with it.
What does hold accountable mean to you in that context? Hold accountable the same way that we held Derek Chauvin accountable. If we didn't have video footage and weren't able to identify him and weren't able to push a mass campaign to have repercussions for someone like Derek Chauvin, that would have just been another case of police brutality. I can only imagine that this is troll posting. You're just like trolling, right? Home Depot immigrants are destroying people's home at night so they have a job in the morning. It's called job security. You're just like memeing around, right? This is a joke, right? Okay. Yeah, this is a joke. Sorry, there's been so many stupid people in chat today. I got worried. I was like, it's either a really funny joke or some fucking insane person. There have been a lot of people with a lot of hallucinations today, okay?